All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Ruchak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, and also honor and salutation to those of you who are the hopeful elect and are out there teaching the word in sincerity and truth. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about um, the incredulity of the masses and and how that incredulity and disbelief of the things we say in the resistance um, to the things we say are going to increase in these coming days. Um, so I thought of this, the show because well, I had already been thinking about it, but then we started talking about it yesterday at camp and how people try to disassociate themselves with the men that are on the highways and byways, right? The men that are, matter of fact, let me see, real quick. Just bear with me for a second. I want to write something down. 1 second. Okay. Now let me go to. I think it's Matthew 22:9. It says, "Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, into the marriage." Right. That reminds me of another scripture. Proverbs. I think it's 1. And where is it? Bear with me for a second here. Sorry, bear with me for a second here. Thought that was 1 and 20. Go back up in there. It says Proverbs 1 and 20. It says, bear with me for a second. It says, wisdom cried without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. Right? So this is what were commanded to do. We were commanded to go out on the highways and byways to proclaim this truth. Matter of fact, damn. Let me see. I think that's in here. Let me see. Oh, it's going to be a lot. Let me see. Bear with me for a second. That's a good one. Jeremiah 7 and 2 is a good one. I'll read that. It says, stand in the gate of the Lord's house and proclaim there this word and say, hear the word of the Lord, all ye of Judah that enter into these gates to worship the Lord. Right? So that's what we're doing. We're proclaiming. Matter of fact, let's do this. And then I'll look it up there in that scripture. Proclaim, announce officially or publicly. You see? Declare something one considers important with due emphasis. See that? Declare officially or publicly to be. You see that, and that goes back into to prophesy, right? To speak before, right? So that's what we were commanded to do, right? So let's go up in here. But I'm looking for something in particular. I'll find it in just a second here. Right? proclaim, hara, to call, call out, recite, read, cry out, proclaim. See? To call, cry, utter a loud sound, to call unto, cry for help, call with the name of the Most High, to proclaim, to read aloud, read to oneself, read, to summon, invite, call for, call and commission, appoint, call. See? So this is what we're commanded to do, man. But it's important that we do it out on the highways and byways, right? Because we read this yesterday, right? Let me see. Let me go. Let me open up another one of these. I think it's Matthew 10. I think it's Matthew 10, 30. Yep. Boom. Matthew's 10, and I'll start up at 32. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, right? So that's our duty. Our duty is to be out on the highways and byways teaching this word. That's the primary thing. Now you can argue, and you'd be somewhat right that our biggest audience is the internet, right? Because we always say that, especially starting with the elder apostles, they always say that our biggest audience is the internet, which is true, right? But you do have those few people who do walk by camps, and they need to hear this word, man. You see? So it's our duty to be out on the highways and byways, because really, when you believe in something wholeheartedly, and you're willing to stand on it, and you're willing to really to sacrifice your well-being, right? To sacrifice not only your well-being physically, but you might have a reputation, right? You might have your coworkers out there, you might have people you've grown up with, right? So you're willing to sacrifice those things because you truly believe in this thing. To be on the highways and byways is a true testament of your faith, man. Right? Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. Right? So don't you want the Lord Yahweh Shai to be the intercessor for you? Don't you want him to fight for you? So in order for him to do that, you have to first confess him before all men. Right? Let me see. Open up another one of these. It says, I thought that was in James. Yeah, James 2 and 18. It says, "Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith." You can. That's a lot of these dudes too, man. Yo, we got faith. We believe. Right, but what's it saying, James here? It says, "Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works." Right? So that's a true testament of faith, to be out on the highways and byways, willing to risk it all. As the scriptures say, let me go to here. Let me go here. I think that's Corinthians. Yeah, Romans 12. I'm saying yeah, like I was right. Romans 12 and 1. It says, "I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service." Right. So what are you sacrificing? Some of those things that I talked about. Your reputation, your friendships, right? Your job, and maybe in some cases, you know, these are the things that you're willing to sacrifice for this truth. It's a true testament of faith to be out on the highways and byways amongst the elements, um, and be willing to lose your matter of fact, that reminds me of another scripture. All right, so that would allow, I should be able to go back here. So I'll read down from here. It says, "Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven." Verse 33. "But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father," right? Like the relationships I talked about losing, "and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foe shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me," right? So it begs the question, what are you afraid to lose, right? "And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me," right? What does it mean to take up your cross, right? To bear these burdens that come with being in the truth, man, right? "He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life, for my sake shall find it." You see that? And that's what we're looking to find our lives, our heavenly lives, our spiritual lives. That's what we're looking to do. Okay, so let me see what else I got opened up here. Let me go back and see if I can find some more scriptures on that word proclaim. Right? Proclaim. What was that, Jeremiah? Yep. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. Jeremiah 11:6. It says, "Then the Lord said unto me, proclaim all these words in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem." See? "Saying, hear ye the words of this covenant and do them." See? And that's what we're doing. We're out here on the streets, man, on the highways and byways. Right? Okay. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what this is. Okay, that doesn't say what I wanted to say. All right, so yeah, that's what we're here to do, man. To proclaim this truth, to publish this truth publicly, man. Well, I'm saying publish publicly. That's what they call an oxymoron. But you're supposed to be in public with this thing, man. Putting yourself on the line, if you will. Okay. So I got a couple more scriptures that I wanted to go into here. All right. So I'll go here to Second Ezra, right? So it says, oh yeah, that's right. So it says, let me see, I'm gonna start at 1. This is Second Ezra 15:1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee," right? And that's what I think, not all, but most of what deters people from being out in public with this thing. That people are going to look at them funny, right? People are going to, "Oh, why you teaching that?" Or we talked about this a few months back about how you had, I don't remember who they were, but there was this camp that would come out on the highways and byways, and instead of having their garments on, they would have them draped over their shoulders or wrapped around their necks, and they got each end of the garment around their neck in their hands, and they holding it, trying to be cool with this thing. And I believe a big part of that is they don't really believe in this thing, man. They don't believe in it. You know, they're afraid of the backlash, if you will. They're afraid of what people might say. But I'm here to tell you, man, that backlash is going to increase. It's not going to get lighter, you know. And I was listening to this podcast earlier this morning, right? And they were talking about they talked about how you know addressing things right away so they don't fester, like the harder things in your life, and so that you don't have friction in your life. And they said that you know the sooner you get over the harder things, the easier your life is, right? It's counterintuitive. You think dealing with hard things makes your life hard, but really it makes your life easier. When you put things off, right, your life becomes harder, right? So in this vein, right, to keep with the topic, when you try to taper off, or when you try to trim your way, as the scriptures say, to seek love, you make your life harder, because now you gotta at every waking moment you gotta hide what you believe in, right? Every time you turn around. So I try to meet it head on. If somebody challenged me about my beliefs, or did I see you out there? Yeah, you saw me. You saw me. Yeah, that's me. We out there on the highways and byways. We teaching this truth, and you try to meet it head on, and it makes your life much simpler, man. You know, and I learned as a kid. I was always a chubby boy, right? And you learn, when you learn how to make fun of yourself, right? Or when you're forward with teasing yourself or making fun of yourself, people don't have much to say behind that, right? So in the same way, if you profess your beliefs, if people see that you're not ashamed of your beliefs, then what can they say against you, right? What can they say? They can't say much of anything, right? So reading on, a matter of fact, what I want to do is go to this word. Oh, damn it, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to look up this word incredulity, if this computer will let me do it. Nope. Let's see. Oh, it's a link. Oh, there. Oh, I didn't know that. All right, I'll just type it in, and I'll do it the long way. Um, incredulity. Okay. So this is the word incredulity. It says the state of being unwilling or unable to believe something. See. So what is the scripture saying? The incredulity of them, or disbelief, or people not believing in you or believing what you say, trouble you, man. You shouldn't let those things bother you. Because belief and faith is inside you. It's a gift that was given to you, not to the rest of the world or to people outside of you. So you can't let the fact that people don't believe in this thing hinder your walk in this truth. Okay? Check this out. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in unfaithfulness, right? So when you waver, right? When you showing the Lord that you're awful in this thing, you're gonna die in that. Man. The key is to show the Lord that you believe in the things that He has to say. Okay, and how do you do that? By being on the highways and byways, man. That's the main thing. Okay, so let me see what else I got here. Right, I got one more thing I want to look it up. I wish I did, so I didn't have to search for it. I'll quit. I'll quit for the time. So you had Jonah, right? Who, you know, in the beginning, he prophesied against Nineveh, and they ended up repenting from his prophecy, right? In his warning to get right, and they didn't end up getting destroyed when he said that it would get destroyed, right? So what happened, right? He had to sit down and and be embarrassed. Oh, you know how Jake get. Oh, I thought you said we was gonna get destroyed. What happened, nigga? What happened? Right? And in that he had to take that hit. The Lord ended up destroying the place anyway, right? But for that time being, he had to endure that embarrassment, man. He had to endure the incredulity, right? Same thing with Noah. He's another example, right? Where he's building this ark and saying that something is going to come that has never been seen on earth. Rain? Fuck this nigga Noah. You hear the nigga Noah over there saying now? There's gonna be water shooting out the sky. What's wrong with that nigga? Right? He had to endure that embarrassment, man. You know? That's it, man. That's all I wanted to talk about. Again, as always, hope that's edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rachab Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well. And honor and salutations to those of you who are of the whole elect. And with that, I say other one.